Hello everybody and welcome here to Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park for the third matchup this season between the visiting Real Monarchs and New Mexico United. Kickoff and pregame coming up in just a moment. The 2021 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary. My name is Tyler Ortega, joined tonight by JJ Buck for this third matchup between Real Monarchs, JJ, and New Mexico. These are two teams sitting at the base of the Mountain Division. Real Monarchs in 7th, New Mexico in 6th.
Yeah, and for New Mexico United, they still have playoff on their mind. Real Monarchs, it's about development, so a big opportunity tonight for New Mexico.
Let's go ahead and look at tonight's players to watch, brought to you by Lumen Optimal Wellness. Enjoy a healthier body and mind today. For the visitors, it is number 47, the former Stanford Cardinal, and the younger brother of Chris, it's Charlie Weehan. 12 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist to his name so far this season.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch the Weehan brothers on the pitch professionally after
It's getting late, but your crew is just getting started. Head to B-Dubs for 50% off this loaded lineup of tots, chips, and ultimate nachos. But wait, how's beer for just $3? There's officially something for everyone, even that friend whose curfew is 10 p.m. Late night at Buffalo Wild Wings.
In the 2019 Reader's Choice Awards from the Albuquerque Journal, Sandia Resort and Casino was voted Albuquerque's favorite casino. Best customer service, best entertainment venue, best slot machines and poker room, best variety of table games, best rewards program, and best golf course. Best buffet, favorite nightclub, favorite casino. Albuquerque, you deserve the best. Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary.
I'm not a passenger. I'm a pilot.
in training.
Yeah, in training. My dad taught me to fly. To fire the burner, read the wind, and plot a course over our home, the land of enchantment. Are we still in New Mexico?
Dub's new crispy hand-breaded classic chicken sandwich plus fries for $5.99 is made live in a real-life sports bar with live, non-virtual friends. This is real life. So real it's $5.99 for a limited time. Buffalo Wild Wings.
We're back here coming to you live at the lab in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Tyler Ortega, JJ Buck, New Mexico United set to host Real Monarchs. Before kickoff, let's take a look here at tonight's starting 11s brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Starting first with the home side, JJ. We see Devin Sandoval up top, Weehan Moreno alongside him, Guzman Tenari anchoring the midfield, Caitlin Ryden in the back line, and Alex Tambakis between the sticks.
Yeah, with the roster New Mexico United has, it's always going to be about the attack, and you see that again, that midfield, Tenari and Bruce.
And for the other side, Real Monarchs, between the sticks, it's Jeff Duznup. And up top, you have Suba. And then we see Nidegger in the midfield. But Malik Johnson, he's the one that we're going to keep an eye on tonight.
Yeah, he leads the team at 27 chances created. A roster that has a mix, of course, young players, some experience. But Johnson is a guy that will set his teammates up.
These here are your Garcia Automotive Group keys to the match for New Mexico. Verticality in the midfield, converting chances, but most importantly, avoiding those sloppy mistakes that you see New Mexico typically commit and concede those goals.
Yeah, it's really frustrating, and it's what cost them points or point last time out against Austin.
Your Bencher Law injury report, you see Sam Hamilton, Sergio Rivas, and Harry Swartz listed for New Mexico. It is Charlie Weehan in the center circle for Real Monarchs. And the third meeting between the two sides this season is underway. New Mexico look to be coming out in a back four here with Yearwood playing left back, the center back pairing of Ryden and Schmidt and David Najam over at right back. That is Justin Schmidt, the Albuquerque native. Guzman plays that up for Sandoval. There's Weehan. Tried to play that one up for Johnson, and it's played back.
And I think the back four tonight is a good move from Trey Lisane. You bring Justin Schmidt into the lineup, who's really good on the ball, but he does lack some speed, so you don't want him to get caught out there, in that cornerback position of a back three, so you give him some cover with David Najim. You play the back four, and then you get that attack with Daniel Bruce ahead of him.
That long ball played for Armando Moreno. Able to control. Finds Chris Weehan and now tries to thread that one through Moreno. But beating him to that one is Salcedo. Oh, and that was very dangerous. And we're going to see the yellow card come out right off the bat, and Armando Moreno goes into the book. The sliding challenge into Jeff Dusnup.
Troy Lisane said yesterday that they have to be more aggressive. I don't know if that's what he was necessarily talking about, seeing Armando Moreno a minute and a half into the game pick up a card, but he's trying to create something. That was dangerous, and he's kind of lucky to just get a yellow card on that one at the keeper this early in the game. But aggressiveness in the attack is key for United in what is a must-win situation for them to continue in this playoff chase.
And Moreno, he's got to be careful here picking up the yellow card in the second minute. That yellow card brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm. When you've been fouled in a car crash, call your legal home team, Roadrunner Law Firm. So Dusnup will get rid of it here. Dusnup out of the RSL Academy. One of the Real Salt Lake players on this Monarchs roster here tonight. This is Armando Moreno. Picked up by Conti, tries to cross that one in. Look to have deflected off of Daniel Bruce momentarily. David Najim will play it back to Ryden now. It's Yearwood. Tenari trying to poke that away from the midfield of Real Monarchs. That ball was played forward for Conte, but cut out by Najim.
One of the keys we're talking about, Tyler, that verticality out of the midfield, and it's possession with a purpose. And one of the things Trey Lisane also talked about is, well, yeah, they might have had possession, they're not creating chances. And these are the situations where you don't want to get too passive. You want to take your pass and then take that step forward and put some pressure on the Real Monarchs.
Here's Justin Schmidt. Playing that one up top for Sandoval. Goes to ground. Don't typically see Sandoval go down that easily.
Maybe even caught the ref off guard a little bit there.
Moreno now tripped up momentarily. And now the through ball was looking for Daniel Bruce. Cut out there. Looked to have been Orozco. Player down in the midfield for Real Monarchs. It's number 54, Sam Brown. Sam Brown out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, played his college ball at Harvard. Probably a little smart.
That's the Ivy Leaguer on the pitch.
Guzman plays it up to the Englishman, Daniel Bruce. Looking for Chris Weehan, and the run of Chris Weehan is offside. That offside trap coordinated very well there by the back line of Real Monarchs.
Yeah, but that's what you want to see from New Mexico. The quicker passes, not getting caught, playing in their own third, being aggressive, taking those chances because they have the speed with Weehan and Moreno, and then Daniel Bruce coming up as well to put a lot of pressure on the Monarchs.
Near side here, that's Johnson. And making the run back post was Charlie Weehan. It's incredible how similar Chris and Charlie look.
And that was a great run from Charlie there. You saw him. The ball just got a little bit too deep, but he had the opportunity. He had to step on the defender.
Kalen Ryden plays that one long. That finds the feet of Moberg. It's cut out. Excuse me, that was Orozco. Here comes Andrew Tenari. Plays it for Weehan. That one's stolen away momentarily. New Mexico, it looked like we're asking for a handball. Tenari. And Guzman will play it over to Najum near side. Najum looking for the run of Sandoval. It's cleared away. Cross goes in. Sandoval. It falls to Daniel Bruce. Bruce cuts it back here on the right foot for Yearwood. Plays the cross. Far post, and Moreno is offside.
United are doing a really good job, though, on a few of these chances, getting 2 to 3 players in the box for the initial cross, running right down to the center of the pitch, and that's what you want to see is get those early balls into the box, start creating those chances. This team needs to take advantage of this capable goal scorers they have in this lineup.
It looks like Real Monarchs is content to see the run of Charlie Weehan and Justin Schmidt here through the first 7 minutes. Playing that one off was Banche. Here's Johnson. It's Malik Johnson. Toronto, Canada. Johnson unleashes one, and that one fizzled over the crossbar into the curse.
You'll take that if you're in New Mexico. A shot from distance. You know, Johnson trying to do something special there, but they had a pretty good job of making sure that they had the players covered.
So we have a look there on that TLC replay. Johnson, that was rising from the moment it left his foot. Sandoval plays that one here for Austin Yearwood. Here's Kalen Ryden now. David Najum. Ryden out of Norman, Oklahoma. New Mexico looking very comfortable in possession. Guzman has now slid into the right back spot. David Najum has pushed up to the front line for New Mexico, as has Austin Yearwood. That ball played in, looking for Daniel Bruce, making the run down the channel. Weehan lays that off. Nidegger goes to ground, and he's going to draw the foul. Christian Nidegger started the last game as well. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Sandoval wrestling there with a couple of Monarchs, drawing the foul, and New Mexico here will have the Fiesta Auto Group free kick.
You like that little burst there out of Devin Sandoval to continue to run down the ball, draw the foul right there. And what you're seeing, too, out of the Monarchs, a little bit of a token pressure when United is in possession, but also the freedom. And Charlie Weehan playing a lot like Chris Weehan, playing right underneath the striker, and you're seeing him all over the field.
So this is Chris Weehan, set up to deliver this one. It's the head coach for Real Monarchs, Jamison Olave, just behind him with Troy Lassane behind them. This one looped in. That was headed towards frame. It looks to have gone off one of the Monarchs players, in New Mexico will find their way to the corner for the first time tonight.
That's one of those clearances that makes your heart stop as a defender. Really good ball in, the pace dropping right where you wanted it. And Armando Moreno in the vicinity as well.
Corner played short. Here's Najum. Is this one in? Finds Sandoval, lays it off for Tenari, and it was rising the whole way. As you can see, that was another one of those drawn-up set pieces by New Mexico.
And it's been a while since we've seen one of those connect, and you know they still have plenty to pull out of their back pocket when it comes to the corner kick opportunities.
Here's Duznup. As you mentioned, one of the Real Salt Lake players on this roster. Conte played that one forward for Weehan, but Schmidt was there. Schmidt with Weehan all over him does well to win the throw-in.
Good communication as well from Alex Tambakis. You see anytime a player is stuck in the corner under pressure, he's telling them, hey, don't pass it back to me. Either play it out, get it downfield. And to your point of avoiding the sloppy mistakes, the communication has to be there. It's a good place to start when it's coming from your keeper.
That is Jamison Olave, the former Colombian footballer, current head coach of Real Monarchs.
Your attention fans, will Josephine Chavez please report to the CNN Guest Services booth at this time? Josephine Chavez, please report to the CNN Guest Services.
Now it looks like a foul was called against Real Monarchs during that last throw-in. So it's going to be a Fiesta Auto Group free kick here for New Mexico. And Guzman will take it quickly, playing a little 1-2 with Najim.
Guzman is a very polarizing player for United fans, but what he does is not just sit there deep, be a defender, be a quality passer, but it allows coverage. You said he's filling in. If Najim goes forward, he can do the same thing if he happens to be drifting to the far side to cover for Yearwood. He is a player that Troy Lesesne trusts.
And Guzman does a lot of the things that don't show up in the box score. Does a lot of things that do show up in the box score.
And you need a guy that's willing to be tough, that gives you the edge in games, or you're not just, it can't always just be about, oh, we're a finesse team. No, you got to be physical, and Juan Pablo Guzman is one of those guys that brings it to the starting 11.
You know, and we're just mentioning about Olave being a Colombian footballer. So too is Juan Guzman. And we know exactly how scrappy those Central American players can be as the run offside there from Suba. Real Monarchs, this is a team, JJ, they've only scored 1 out of their last 5 games. They haven't been incredibly threatening on offense. They've been shut out their last 3 games, but they've looked decent so far here in the opening 14 minutes.
They have, and I think it's moments like this where United has the ball deep in their own third, and the willingness to step forward from the attackers from the Real Monarchs and put a little bit of pressure on United. See if you can force them into mistake. In a moment before the offside, Justin Schmidt got caught up the pitch a little bit, and luckily for United, it wasn't offside.
And that ball cut back by Najim, and he's going to draw the foul. And how about the ball played into David Najim? New Mexico had about 4 guys making a run at that point, JJ. So we have another look here at this TLC replay. Excellent job by the veteran David Najim to just hold up play there. Knows the defender's coming, goes to ground, and now Chris Weehan has this free kick in a dangerous spot.
Yeah, Weehan has a lot of options here. They can pull another trick out of the bag. He can drop something right on top of the 6-yard box.
So Weehan sizing it up. You see Sandoval in there alongside Schmidt. Ryden makes the run back post, and that was exactly who he was looking for. Ball still alive. Kalen Ryden, big save by Jeff Duznup.
A good job by Duznup in goal, because once you had that initial clearance and it looked like Ryden was going to have a free header, I think everyone thought, oh, this one might be going out of play. It stayed in play, and what an opportunity, Ryden staying with it.
And it was Justin Schmidt with the follow-up, finding Kalen Ryden, and then the quick reaction save there from Duznup as this Bank of America corner kick finds its way all the way across the box, avoids everybody. Yearwood's going to play it back in, and that goes just over the head of Justin Schmidt for New Mexico. He was all by himself there at the back post, and now Justin Schmidt a little slow to get up.
That was a really good ball in by Austin Yearwood, of course, on his favored left foot. You saw the whip because it was one. Sometimes you see the defenders, when they play that second ball back in, it gets away from him a little bit, floats right towards the keeper. No, he had pace and whip on that one and put it in an area where Justin Schmidt might have given himself a little bit of whiplash trying to get up for that one.
That ball goes over the head of everybody, and it's going to be a throw in here for New Mexico. Two clubs battling over the Atlantic Division's final playoff spot take center stage when the USL on ESPN continues. Charlotte Independence traveled north to Dillon Stadium to take on Hartford Athletic Thursday, September 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Deportes. Speaking of Hartford and Dillon Stadium, that was where Real Monarchs just played, JJ, in the midweek, as this one falls to Moreno. Has it eventually poked away, and then Orozco laying chase. He does well to keep that one away from Moreno. That's going to bring up a Bank of America corner kick. But as I was just saying, Real Monarchs came fresh off a plane from Boston, cross-country to Albuquerque, get off the plane. They get 1 day of training in. Now they've got to come to the lab in front of 7,000.
Yeah, and it's not going to be an altitude problem coming from Salt Lake City. Said it's the midweek game, the cross-country travel. What are they looking like? What is the substitution pattern in the second half? Something to watch if this game stays tight.
Here's Chris Wehan. Bank of America corner kick. One played short. Justin Schmidt rips one. And that had the pace, just didn't have the placement for the Albuquerque native. And that one was smoked, JJ.
You see initially Guzman, his run draws the defender and it leaves it open for Schmidt to have that free chance on goal. And Justin Schmidt does have a rocket, and his touch is fantastic for a center back. It's just tough to keep that one down.
Justin Schmidt, 6'1". Out of Albuquerque, to school on the west side at Volcano Vista. It's Andrew Tenari. Schmidt plays that one over for David Najum.
Volcano Vista becoming a bit of a soccer hotbed on both boys and girls soccer here in the state.
That's right, JJ. You and I both call the University of New Mexico women's soccer program. They've got a number of Volcano Vista players in their ranks as well. And a little bit of a crossover between the two programs as things getting a little chippy here between Austin Yearwood and Nidegger. As we were mentioning, the crossover between the UNM women's soccer program and New Mexico United, it's that of Heather Dyke, who is the head coach for the Lobo women's soccer. She's recently signed on to be a special advisor to the technical staff here for New Mexico, making her just the second woman on a USL Championship technical staff.
I love the willingness from Troy Lesane to just continue to learn and understand that you can always get better with whatever you're doing. And Heather Dyke is such an accomplished coach, and she's also so grounded in this community. It checks the boxes of getting better on the field and off the field.
Well, and we know all about her pedigree, not just across the street from us here at Isotopes, with UNM, but she does have some experience, being an assistant coach with the U.S. women's national team and some of their developmental teams as well. So all in all, great stuff all around as this ball cut out by Justin Schmidt, who was looking for the run of Suba. In case you're wondering, you didn't miss a goal, you didn't miss anything. It's just the magic minute here at the lab. All 7,000 people on their feet and cheering. There's flags waving, cowbells are going, JJ. You name it, we love it.
It's awesome, and injecting life into the game when it's unexpected can catch you off guard, but it's a great feeling for these United players.
Right in, looking for the diagonal to find David Najum, but that one headed away by Salcedo. Here's Suba. Suba has that poked away by Guzman, and New Mexico now come into possession. Wehan chests and plays it back for Yearwood. Schmidt plays that back to Ryden. New Mexico playing a dangerous game here. And that one goes out. It's a throw in here for Real Monarchs.
Now a situation, New Mexico is allowing Real Monarchs to dictate to them what they want to do, getting a little too passive in the back end. Even if they don't want to play too direct, they need to take some chances over the top, and the Monarchs start creeping up forward. Get the ball out. You got some speedsters, Tenari Moreno, Daniel Bruce, Chris Wehan to relieve some of that pressure.
Ball played over, looking for Suba. It was headed away by Schmidt. Najim will come in to clean up. David Najim out of Clifton, New Jersey. His second stint here in as many years with New Mexico. It was a midseason signing, re-signed on July 28th. His cross goes in, far side. Suba just can't redirect that one to his teammates in the 18.
Unmarked on the far side. It looked like it might have taken a little bit of deflection before it got to Suba. We'll get a chance to see it here on the replay, the build-up. Good job. Quick reset, getting to the outside. The Johnson, the guy that you want to have sending this one in. Nope, it just went all the way over and he couldn't connect with it.
Yeah, and Suba visibly frustrated. Understandably so. When you get those unmarked runs, JJ, you've got to at least redirect it if you can't put it on
Yeah,
frame.
and that's one, if you don't decide, hey, this is going to be an amazing diving header attempt, you saw it check up on him, hit him in the knee, not much you can do.
So Tambakis gets us underway once again. Najim has to head it back to the Athenian goalkeeper. Is Alex Tambakis, New Mexico United's #1. He has 59 saves this season to go along with 5 clean sheets and 24 goals conceded.
Now, Cody Mizell was a fan favorite. Great person, great family, but I think Alex Tambakis has done a very good job of filling the shoes of Cody Mizell. When you look at how late that they made the signing of Tambakis when Cody got the opportunity to join NYCFC, I think it's been one of the big reasons. While, yeah, the season hasn't gone the way United has wanted it to, they still have a chance because when they're not scoring, at least games are still tight because of Tambakis.
Yeah, and Tambakis, a veteran keeper who's got plenty of experience in this league. He comes in, he's got 59 saves, which is tied for 8th most in the league. When you look at the clean sheets, also in the top 10, tied for 8th there as well. And we've heard how much Troy Lesane really appreciates having Alex Tambakis in between the sticks, being able to have that reliability, that veteran presence, a player that can come out and play sweeper keeper. He commands his box. He's so powerful. And, of course, the length, too.
Danny Bruce just a little late on that last challenge, picking up the yellow card. And unfortunately, the second game that these two teams played, Philip Beigel got his opportunity. It was a rough one for Philip in his pro debut with United, 3-2 loss for New Mexico. When you look at what happened in that second half, especially that Noah Powder goal, which is just unworldly to win it. But Tambakis, has been the constant. And when you have a guy that you can throw out there every single day, not worry about it, and give you a chance.
Well, and, to go back even further than that most recent game between these two sides, that one went down on June 30th that you mentioned, JJ. Go back to June 4th when Alex Tambakis did play for New Mexico, and it was a 1-0 shutout up in Zions Bank Stadium in Harriman, Utah, with New Mexico winning on that one. It was the Chelo Martinez free kick goal that found its way magically into the back of the net as nobody was able to connect with that one. But that just speaks to the pedigree of Alex Tambakis, one of his 5 clean sheets on the season. It looks like we've got a yellow card issued to Conte as well here in the 26th minute. So those yellow cards brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm. If you've been injured in a car crash, call your legal home team, Roadrunner Law Firm. back to Tambakis. You see the offside flag up on New Mexico. So Real Monarchs here, looking at the attacking thirds, they are favoring the left side a little bit more than the right and just a little bit more than the middle as well. And that one poked away here. Daniel Bruce plays it forward, looking for Armando Moreno. Duznup is well off his line as he comes out to see the danger away momentarily. He had to be sure on that one, JJ, and he was.
Oh my goodness, you can just imagine what was going through Duzunup's mind right there. Like, please, please, please don't let a hammy blow out and you get that touch just in front of Armando Moreno.
Nidegger, sliding challenge, cuts that one out just before it gets to Yearwood. Tenari will play it across near side to David Najim. Here comes Najim. Plays it off, Weehan. Crosses in, low cross, and it goes across the face of goal, avoiding Armando Moreno and Devin Sandoval, and somehow this match is still scoreless.
That ball was where it needed to be, and it's just got to be inches away from a touch in the back of the net. But I do love the decision on the cross. We get a chance to take another look at it here from Weehan, is playing that one low on the ground. And yes, just inches from Devin Sandoval putting United on the board.
Tonight's replay is brought to you by TLC Plumbing. TLC is the leader in New Mexico when it comes to home and business service needs.
So Sandoval thought Moreno was going to finish that one.
Here comes Tenari. The New Yorker Andrew Tenari. And now things starting to get a little bit chippy over on the far sideline between Tenari and Johnson. And our official is going to rule that it's a throw in here for Real Monarchs. So that ball played long by Moberg. Very neatly done by Kalen Ryden. Sandoval does well to bring that one down. Now chips it forward, the Englishman Daniel Bruce. He's got Moreno in space, but the offside flag is up on Daniel Bruce here on the near side.
Another one just a step offside for New Mexico United, but you liked the quicker pace of play. Ryden made the steal at the back end, took the step forward, made the pass, and it was quick decisions from New Mexico.
Dancing around there, that's Banche. Finds Weehan. Ball behind Nidegger. That was a great move by Nidegger to shake free. And now Guzman will come up on him and concedes the foul.
And then that's the frustrating thing from Juan Pablo Guzman coming back. Just trying to get in the way. Gets too much, and now first dangerous free kick opportunity for the Monarchs.
Standing over this one, it looks like it's going to be Banche. So there's a trio of Monarchs standing over this one, actually. You've got Brown, you've got Weehan, and Banse. So if I had to guess, it's going to be Weehan, and our official Matthew Corrigan calls a stop here just as Weehan was making his run up to the ball. Perhaps a little fortunate for the black and yellow.
Ball was just a couple yards too far.
So we'll try it again, and it is Weehan. He sends it over the bar.
Well, if you're the Monarchs, as we head to the 31st minute, you got to be feeling good. You're conceding a ton of possession, but you've forced New Mexico close to a few mistakes in situations like this, playing it out of the back. Just had yourself a free kick and still sit scoreless on the road.
It's Kalen Ryden surveying his options. Picks out Devin Sandoval, tries to anyway. A couple of deflections later, and now it's Bonse in possession. Lays it off for Conte now. Here's Suba. Suba cuts it back. Bonse plays it into Weehan, who turns. Off the half volley there, Charlie Weehan desperately trying to get something on target.
And good build-up, quick turnover, and then bouncing right back on it. You're seeing the Monarchs kind of do what you want to see out of United. All right, when they get on the ball, get it forward. Don't hesitate. Don't recycle too much.
Sandoval and Moberg battling there. This ball chipped forward for Weehan. He's got Moreno in space. Chris Weehan plays it across. Moreno tries to cut it back. It falls to Bruce. And the Englishman sends it wide. Daniel Bruce ruined the opportunity, but looks to have taken a deflection, and it's a Bank of America corner kick coming up.
When United has gotten forward, the players have been in the right position, making the runs to be in the dangerous areas. And that was the right decision for Moreno to try to stop, turn, and either get a shot or lay it off.
Bank of America corner kick here. It's Chris Weehan to send it in. He does, and it was just sent away, and now Kalen Ryden is going to go to ground for New Mexico. He looks to have perhaps taken a knock to the head in that one, and New Mexico United athletic trainer Tyler Harris will arrive on scene. So looking at the numbers here so far, JJ, looking at possession, it's New Mexico in favor, 59 to 41%. You can see a lot of the attack for the black and yellow going up the right side through the middle as well. And for Al Monarchs really exploiting the flanks here, as Ryden looked to have perhaps got some noggin-to-noggin contact there. That looks incredibly painful.
And those are the tough situations as a defender, any player in the box at that point in time. You going for the header, contact, whether it's elbows that get high, the head collisions, and of course you want to be safe and smart in these situations, and especially for your anchor on the defensive back line.
So Ryden now sitting up, so that's a good sign. We can clean up a little bit of housekeeping here. Well, we've got a moment. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM-FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watts and our friend Devin Kerr every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can also hear live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM-FC 157 and the SXM app. So it's a Bank of America corner kick here following that head injury to Kalen Ryden. As Weehan plays that one in, and it glances just shy of goal, and it's going to be another corner kick for New Mexico here, this time from the opposite side.
Mexico does do a good job of changing it up. They don't always pull off something from the training ground every single corner. You see the last two just putting in the box, see if any of your big guys can get up there. And that's what you have to do, try to keep the defense on their heels in these situations.
Kalen Ryden has re-entered the pitch for United. He is in the 18, ready to make a play on this corner. It's going to be sent in by Weehan. Weehan plays that one in, looking far post. It looked like Justin Schmidt may have made initial contact with that, but off a Monarchs player in front of goal.
Third time almost a charm for United, but we're seeing Schmidt, Bryden, Sandoval, those guys get close in the air on these corners.
So throw in here for Monarchs. That is Conte. Messing up a little bit on that give and go there. And now New Mexico have the throw in. Here's Ryden.
I think at times it's easy when you look at these sides that have MLS affiliations, just think, oh yeah, there's a bunch of kids on the pitch. You're just going to be playing kids, but that's not the case. There's usually a good mix, and the same thing here with Real Monarchs because they haven't backed down. It's been chippy. Yeah, you're going to get the boos, but they have came to play this game. They're going toe-to-toe with United.
Mondo Moreno goes to ground asking for the foul. He's not going to get it. Yeah, and you're right, JJ, 100%. You have to look past the numbers that are on the jerseys because when you look, you might say, what is this a football team out here with some of the 80s and the 90s and the 60s and the 70s that we're seeing? But these guys, I think what it boils down to is that they've earned the shirt, right? And they've earned these minutes. They've earned this playing time. You've earned your spot on this team more so, being the essential feeder program for Real Salt Lake of MLS. So even though they may be young, they may be somewhat inexperienced, the quality is there. Bonse looks to play that one up for Conte, and it's going to be a throw-in for New Mexico. That is David Najum. Yearwood looking to play this forward for Bruce. That one just gets by the Englishman, and Orozco does well to see that one out for a goal kick.
No, but I like that thought right there for New Mexico United. Put some pressure forward. Try playing some of those direct balls up top. Don't get too passive in the back end because you have the speed, and we're seeing players interchanging. Tenari making a run. You see him standing up there with Devin Sandoval. So United is getting the players in position. Just need to get that one last pass in the final third.
Ryden has to track this one, and now Yearwood and Schmidt closing down Wehan.
This is the Bank of America corner kick.
Another Bank of America corner kick. With over 4,600 locations, convenient banking is just around the corner. So delivering this one here is Malik Johnson. Going near post, and Nyberg just saw that one go over his head, and the foul was called. That ball was struck beautifully, JJ, and we had a great angle from here. Had the right amount of pace, just the perfect amount of bend. All he needed was for Christian Nyberg to slightly deflect that one on frame.
Yeah, that's one of those, even when it misses, it's in such a good position that when it fell initially, it can create a ton of danger for the defense, but foul called on the Monarchs.
So this one falls to Andrew Tenari, looking for Moreno curling around. Guzman pokes it forward, and that one deflected just before it finds Daniel Bruce. He still comes into possession. Here's Daniel Bruce, a few step overs. Bruce still working his way through. And this one's going to fall to Guzman. Trouble not out yet. That was Najum, and forces Dusnup into a save. And that one looked like that might have been the moment.
That was well done just to keep that ball down. It's one of those for Najim, you're like, if this goes on goal, okay, but at least if it gets across, can someone else get a touch to it?
Well, Najim was going for the worldie with that one. Ryden heads that one away. Foul called in the midfield on Sam Brown. Here's Austin Yearwood. Chris Weehan. Weehan wins the ball, goes to ground, and he's going to win the free kick.
He does, and he gets a little talking to from the refs, and hey, I saw it. It's okay.
And that, a veteran move by one Chris Weehan.
And you know, especially because initially it was Charlie kind of came back and challenged him the first time. I'm sure those guys have had plenty of battles in the backyard.
So here's Chris set to deliver. Fiesta Auto Group free kick. Weehan looking back post and doesn't beat the first defender. Najim here plays it in, back post. It falls to Weehan and just cleared away. And for just a moment, New Mexico looked like they might have had something.
They did a really good job on the second balls. You see that it's something that they talk about because you see the runners on the backside making that run. Weehan not standing around waiting. He made that run to be in position for that second ball.
So another Bank of America corner kick here. Sent in, and it's Amando Moreno near post, and it's saved by Duzna. Moreno wishing he could have that one back.
They're right there, so close. And it's going to be tough if United goes into halftime without putting one in the back of the net. But that's, something. Amando Moreno is not the biggest guy on the pitch, but somehow, some way, he always finds a way to get his head on the ball.
He's already scored one header goal this season. As Conte now makes his way through, Conte puts the cross in, and it's sent away by Kalen Ryden. And now the corner kick coming up here for Monarchs.
Someone stop ball. Caught on the counter, dribbling through 3 or 4 United players.
So it will be Malik Johnson to send this one in. Previously played with Tampa Bay Rowdies, did Johnson. Oh, and there, things getting chippy with Tenari and Moberg. So a little bit of extracurriculars here before the halftime break. We'll take a second to get this all sorted out.
Setting up, and what teams like to do is get in the grill of the keeper. And the keeper, the defenders, they're not going to have any of that. And that's kind of what kick-started the moment right there.
So Tenari and Moberg still exchanging words just in front of our official. And it's all happening right in front of the curse, JJ. And this is firing up the supporters. And here both players getting a talking to from our official. But that is the curse. New Mexico United supporters group. The curse, Sector 114, the Set Piece Ultras, Black Diamonds, all doing wonderful work down there for the matches and in the community. So it looks like we should be ready to go here. Corner kick nearing the 45th minute here for Real Monarchs. Here's Johnson. Plays it in. It's a high ball to the back post. Orozco makes first contact. It's headed away by Schmidt. Yearwood cannot deal with the danger, and now Real Monarchs with the opportunity, and Orozco sends it flying.
Orozco had a little more time than he even anticipated right there, not able to get the good cross off. But fans a little on edge, so a moment gets the supporters involved, try to get some more energy throughout this stadium, as it's been a first half with a bunch of half chances. Had a really dangerous one just a moment ago with Amado Moreno, but a little frustration that we're sitting here in New Mexico and you haven't scored yet.
So into stoppage time we are. We've been informed that there are 3 minutes of New Mexico Piñon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee, JJ, is a matter of opinion.
Definitely filled up on that today.
A little bit of the Somos Unidos blend to wake up. With a portion of each sale going to the Somos Unidos Foundation. It's actually a great coffee for what it's worth, and I'm not just saying that because they're a partner of the club. So Roscoe dancing around in the corner, plays that one out. It's a throw-in for the black and yellow. And if you've listened to United games all season long here on ESPN Plus or on Estrella, wherever you're watching, you've heard me talk about this coffee, but it's a bizcochito coffee with a red chili hint at the end. It's just some...
It doesn't get more New Mexico than that.
I just can't explain it. I can't explain it. Throw in here, Bruce flicks it on, and it goes out. It's a goal kick. Some real high-quality stuff, for lack of a better term.
Getting a shot of it at halftime, get some energy for the second half.
Scoreless draw here so far. 47 minutes gone it. Into the 48th we go. This is the third of 3 allotted stoppage time minutes. Tyler Ortega, JJ Buck here at the lab. It is New Mexico United taking on Real Monarchs. Devin Sandoval in a foot race. And going to ground for Real Monarchs, it looks like it's Moberg. He went down immediately after he and Sandoval had some contact and immediately started grabbing at his lower body. James Moberg out of Windsor, California.
And Moberg is a steadying presence for this team, the 2020 Defensive Player of the Year. And when you're mixing in those young academy players, guys experiencing some of their first professional games and seasons, Moberg is a key to keep some of that continuity.
Moberg has been with the club for 6 years. He's a real veteran there in Utah. He's quoted in a recent article as saying, "Utah is home. I've won and lost here. I've been a part of winning seasons and of seasons we'd rather forget, but this is home and I want to be part of this family for as long as I can."
Well, they've shown you that even in the commitment to development, you can win.
Yeah, and
win at the highest level.
And you got to tip your cap to Jamison Olave as well with Real Monarchs. He's doing a great job. It's got to be tough being a manager of a 2-team like that, JJ, just with the lack of continuity in the roster itself. I mean, anybody can go, and you, the viewers at home, you can go right now, go to the USL Championship website, go to Real Monarchs, and click their roster, and just see the sheer number of players that they've had put on the jersey for them so far this season. It's been incredible. It's been incredible.
Yeah. It's a challenge, but it's one that that's what you're accepting in a position like that. And we talk about the continuity, where's it coming from for United with some of the injuries that they've had, but it's still nothing like the turnover you see on a roster like the Real Monarchs.
Moberg walking off, very somber. That's not the walk or look of a player that looks like they're going to be returning. Might be a little early to speculate with halftime right around the corner here, but New Mexico with the impending the throw-in here, and they're going to have a man advantage. So the throw-in goes into the box. Tenari plays it back. Schmidt crosses, headed away. Finds Najim. Now Guzman. 5 minutes of stoppage time gone by. Najim plays it down. Here's Yearwood. Sends that one to the top of the 18. It's headed away. And going to ground was Guzman. And that is going to be the end of half number 1. It is scoreless here at the lab between New Mexico and Real Monarchs. Chris Weehan, Charlie Weehan doing battle here, JJ, for the first time as professionals. Not a whole lot going on.
No, some half chances early from United. Had that one opportunity late, Amanda Moreno, that was saved on the line. Definitely a bit of frustration for not finding one in the first half, but you credit the Real Monarchs. They're going toe-to-toe. They're not just sitting back, keeping it in. They're putting some pressure on United with a little bit of press, and now New Mexico has to respond.
So we're going to go ahead and step aside here for just a moment. We'll be right back with halftime.
What are you doing?
Trying to make this thing work.
It works! Yeah, let's go!
For over 50 years, BIOS has been proudly serving New Mexico. We love being a part of this community and the New Mexico United family, and helping everyone from homeowners to home builders create a space that's both beautiful and practical. Shopping local is about more than getting a great deal. It's about supporting your community, your neighbors, your friends. Visit BIOS in Albuquerque and see how shopping local supports your New Mexico community.
We are back here live at the lab. Tyler Ortega, JJ Buck, as New Mexico United and Real Monarchs tied 0 goals apiece here. It is halftime, and halftime is brought to you by Smith's Fresh for Everyone. JJ, what have you seen here so far?
Well, I do think New Mexico is being more aggressive in what Troy Lisane wanted, possession with a purpose. They have 12 shots, 3 of those on target. You see them attacking on the front foot, a lot of corners, some free kick opportunities, doing a good job there on the set pieces, and they haven't allowed a shot on target, so they're doing a good job making sure that they haven't been hit on the counter. But once again, just credit to the Real Monarchs for the way that they played in that first half.
So as we look here at the stats here between the two, JJ, at the half, New Mexico sitting with 59% possession, 41 for Real Monarchs. But looking at the shots, New Mexico has 12 shots compared to just 6 for Real Monarchs. So the chances are there, but shots on target, it's 3-0 in favor of the home side. There's been some quality chances. Most of them, they've been half chances.
Yeah. The one number that I do like, and this is something I asked Troy Lisane about yesterday, because it's easy to kind of go numb and overanalyze box scores. And so he pointed out the possession with a purpose is what he wants to do. Well, that purpose has gotten them 6 shots inside the box. And so they're getting touches deep in the final third. They're putting them in dangerous areas to where you have to say if that percentage stays the way it is, they're going to find the back of the net.
Well, and we're seeing for New Mexico, Daniel Bruce getting high up the pitch, and we'll talk about that here just a little bit as we get to the news and notes from around the league. Monterey Bay FC breaking ground on Cardinal Stadium. That's scheduled for completion in the spring of 2022. That one in partnership with Cal State University, Monterey Bay. It's going to be a shared use facility. It'll be the home pitch for Monterey Bay, as well as a place for CSUMB to showcase their teams and games. For Miami FC, adding Chris Cortez to their attack, the 33-year-old forward scored 32 goals in 81 matches for Phoenix Rising. And speaking of Rising, Aiden Quinn reaching 35 goals and 35 assists for his career. Quite the story there is Aiden Quinn. And now let's have a look here at the mountain standings. It is El Paso atop the mountain, 46 points through 22 games played. San Antonio there in second, 37 points. Switchbacks in third off of goal differential there, it looks like, also with 37. Austin Bold in fourth. And there you see New Mexico and Monarchs in 6th and 7th respectively. Scores from around the league. We've got Charlotte Independence on top of Riverhounds at the break, 1-0. Indy 11 trailing Louisville City at home, 2-0 at halftime. Elsewhere, we see a 1-1 draw being played at halftime between Birmingham Legion and OKC Energy, and Atlanta United 2 trailing 2-0 to Tampa Bay Rowdies. For New Mexico, the upcoming schedule, they'll be making the trip out to San Antonio FC next Saturday. Then they'll return here at the Lab the following Wednesday against RGV, then making the trip out to Louisville, taking on Hartford Athletic here at the Lab, and then RGV, that one, New Mexico True Night on the 9th of October. We're going to step aside. We've got more halftime coming up for you in just a moment.
First-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
Tees it up, what a strike, and what a goal! Hartford has a goal! His right-footed shot, and it's in! Knocked away. Looking for Para, could fall for an opportunity here, the shot comes in! Oh, it's brilliant!
I did get an interesting text from someone in the Phoenix organization talking about how big and physical that game was, and maybe they didn't necessarily know it was going to be just like that. I think they got a good taste. By the way, in case you're wondering, Forrest Lasso is competing for the Summer Olympics in gymnastics. Just wanted you to know. What you got next?
Lee Cohen, he was part of that routine.
Bring it to me.
Forrest Lasso, the defender of the year, leaping over the ad boards and pirouetting his way toward the dugout.
In the 2019 Reader's Choice Awards from the Albuquerque Journal, Sandia Resort and Casino was voted Albuquerque's favorite casino. Best customer service, best entertainment venue, best slot machines and poker room, best variety of table games, best rewards program, and best golf course. Best buffet, favorite nightclub, favorite casino. Albuquerque, you deserve the best. Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary.
In New Mexico, we know true beauty, true adventure, true color, and true culture. Home to the artists, the warriors, and the multi-generational, multiracial, all-inclusive family that we call the United. This is New Mexico United, and New Mexico United is New Mexico True.
at the Lab. It is halftime here between New Mexico United and Real Monarchs SLC. Tyler Ortega here alongside JJ Buck. And JJ, it is halftime 0-0. Let's take a look at some of the match stats here. We touched on them a little bit in the last segment, but the most important one, the top one, goals, zeros in each side. New Mexico, twice as many shots, 12-6. Monarchs, for as many opportunities as it seems they've had, none of those being on target.
Yeah, they've had moments, we call them the half chances, quarter chances, even for the Real Monarchs, trying to capitalize on a mistake from New Mexico United, but they've done a good job of eliminating the touches in the box, and that's where New Mexico has the advantage. Of those 12 shots, 10 of them have been from inside the box.
So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights here from the first half between United and Monarchs. And getting things started, that is New Mexico, the curse. And it was Charlie Wehan with a diving header attempt, sending it well wide, but Wehan, he's been all over.
Yes, and he has the ability to flow underneath the striker, kind of go wherever he is needed.
And this here for New Mexico, the other Wehan is Chris Wehan, playing that one across the box and somehow narrowly avoids Moreno and Sandoval. We talked about that one when it
started. Head to B-Dubs for 50% off this loaded lineup of tots, chips, and ultimate nachos. But wait, house beer for just $3? There's officially something for everyone. Even that friend whose curfew is 10 p.m. Late night at Buffalo Wild Wings.
This one's for every sports fan who just spent the entire game explaining to someone the entire game. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Fall in love with your home at American Home Furniture and Mattress. Shop and save on the latest in-stock trends and styles for your living room, bedroom, dining room. Plus, this week only, donate $25 to the ALS Association and save $50 off your purchase at American Home. You can help create a world without ALS. American Home Furniture and Mattress, proud sponsor of the New Mexico Walk to Defeat ALS.
We've all been waiting for the great unpause. But what if we took this moment to see our old lives as something new, bigger than routine? Something better than back to normal. Because moving forward, what we used to call everyday life is what we'll celebrate every day. This will be the greatest comeback. Collect all 6 signature bottles, win all summer. Learn more at ultracomeback.com.
Get your associate's degree in 17 months with C&M Online. A fast degree, no hidden fees, books included, all at an affordable price. All of your courses can be completed online. Take the next step in your career. Get your degree from C&M Online.
Second half coming up here between New Mexico United and Real Monarchs. Here in just a moment, Tyler Ortega, JJ Buck coming to you here live at the Lab on ESPN Plus and Estrella TV. However you're watching, wherever you're watching, we thank you for watching. A little bit of Saturday night soccer action here in the Mountain Division as New Mexico looking to make up some ground here, JJ, over the final 10 games. Tonight starts the playoff push.
It does, and this is must-win soccer. You can't drop any more points. You can't give up opportunities like this at home. So far this season, New Mexico has dropped 20 points from winning positions, and you have to take advantage of a team that's at the bottom of the table. You're 6 points behind Austin now, who won today 1-0 at Tulsa. So Austin sits with 35 points. United sitting on 29 points right now. So first and foremost, it's about getting 3 points tonight, and then maybe even 2 or 3 goals, because goal differential could play a big factor. It is the second tiebreaker when you look at Austin Bold at -3 and a goal differential, RGV at -1. New Mexico United even on the season. So first and foremost, got to find a way to get that 3 points, but if you can add a little bit to that goal differential, that'll help you as well.
Well, in New Mexico, as we saw there in the first half, they're going to commit numbers forward. They're going to get bodies forward into the box. They're going to put shots on frame. They've got 12 shots, 3 of those on target. It's just a matter of when at this point, right?
You hope. And I like the runs that they have been making. You're watching the players attacking the box when the ball has been out wide. It's 2 or 3 guys, a good spacing, making the runs into the 18. So they're where they need to be. Now it's about finding that final touch, and it's so close as we just go back and you keep replaying that Weeham ball over and over. You have Moreno and Sandoval. Who else would you want on the end of it? But both of them just miss, and you hope in the second half they don't just miss, they hit it and connect.
Mentioned Moreno and Sandoval there for New Mexico. They're both sitting, well, Sandoval has 4 goals this season. Moreno has 3. Rivas has 4 and Weehan has 6. Although 4 of those for Weehan coming in an Orange County shirt. Second half underway here between New Mexico United and Real Monarchs. New Mexico attacking the goal here just to the south in front of the curse. Here's Nidegger playing that one forward. Tambakis has to come out and make the grab, and he does.
Looks like a change for Real, going to 5 at the back here in the second half.
5 at the back, and it looks like we see a substitute on. That is number 58, Timmy Sobowale. As that cross goes in, it finds Sandoval, and the header just does not have enough pace behind it. That's an easy grab for Dusnup.
Good start right where you want Sandoval to be, and instead just, that's a tough one to generate any pace on just because of the way it's coming in. Kind of a looper for Sandoval, but immediately not wasting any time trying to get an up front foot.
Bonse plays that one out for Malik Johnson. Cross attempt thwarted by Austin Yearwood. Orozco now. He'll play it back to Sobowale. Sobowale out of Dundalk, Ireland. His previous club, JJ, Manchester City. Of course, no reps with the senior team, but quite the organization to come from.
Right, it's about it's experience, and the same thing that a lot of these academy players get.
The offside flag up on Daniel Bruce. Quick restart there by Real Monarchs. Brown over to Bonse. Scott Conte making the run, but decides against it, cuts it back. Now plays it out to Orozco.
And it does ultimately look like it's still looking at 4-2-3-1. Orozco just sliding outside, replacing Moberg at that right back position.
Ball played forward. This is Malik Johnson. A couple of step overs. Ball somewhat got away from him, and Tenari able to step in there for the black and yellow. Tenari still with the ball at his feet, finds Moreno. Moreno has Weehan. Moreno elects to keep it, cuts it back. Amando Moreno sticks it in, and New Mexico United take the lead in the 49th minute. It's Amando Moreno scoring his 4th goal of the season.
Just take over. That is what you want a goal scorer to do. Don't get too pass happy. Moreno said, I am in the box. I am getting this done. Incredible touch on that to create the space, bringing it back, and then finishing.
We have another look on this TLC replay. Moreno, he knew exactly what he was going to do with it the entire way there, JJ. Showing some sweet feet there from the El Salvadorian, Amando Moreno. Curling that one in, upper 90. That's his first goal in 35 days for New Mexico. And what a time it came at.
Easy touch for him on the cutback, getting it to his right foot. And how about the shot coming to the near post? That's one you might expect to see try to go far post, and he left no doubt going to the upper 90.
So for now, New Mexico on top here, 1-0, 50th minute. That New Mexico United goal was scored by Armando Moreno. Goals are brought to you by T-Mobile. T-Mobile has Armando Moreno covered. I'll tell you what, the back line of Real Monarchs didn't on that last play.
He didn't, and that's a player, it is only a matter of time. He's had a great summer for himself, being able to play for his national team, but that's, meant time out of the lineup. Might not have the same chemistry that you'd expect. To see a moment like that where it's not about chemistry, it's just about one player's skill.
Weehan looking to answer. Charlie Weehan with the equalizer. Just moments after Moreno broke the deadlock, we are knotted up once again. And Chris Weehan can do nothing but walk by and look.
Speaking of one player's skill, United gets caught. And it's a pass ahead, and it's just the speed of Charlie Weehan to stay a step or two ahead of the defender, one-on-one with the keeper, and he makes the right decision to slide that one low, and Tambakis had no shot.
Charlie Weehan, the younger brother of Chris Weehan, scoring his 3rd goal of the season here tonight in front of 7,000 at the Lab, quieting all 7,000 here at the Lab, as we see on this TLC replay.
And that's one, too, when you go back and look at the film, just where the possession was lost, because David Najib was way up the pitch, and that left Justin Schmidt in a foot race, and that's just not a place that he wants to be.
And as quick as the Moreno goal happened, the Weehan goal happens, and we're right back at square one, JJ.
So many times this season for New Mexico United, this has been what has happened.
Bruce trying to wiggle his way through. Moreno now turns. Moreno tries to connect. Sandoval bangs it off the crossbar. The floodgates seemingly ready to burst open here in the 52nd minute. Attempt after attempt. Somehow this match still even.
It was a fantastic touch from Dusna, but the problem is that touch went right into the path of Devin Sandoval, and he's going to be thinking about that one for a while.
Yearwood crosses that one in. It's cut out by Brown. Nice dummy there by Justin Schmidt. That sees one of the Monarchs players go to ground. New Mexico will elect to play on. Here's Moreno, a couple of step overs. Armando Moreno. Moreno surrenders possession. The Monarchs almost give it up. Going down is Daniel Bruce. Pointing to the spot is the official. And New Mexico have a penalty kick coming up here in the 53rd minute.
Well, they are the kings of chaos, and that was a chaotic moment right there. Monarchs is looking back, player on the ground, and New Mexico doesn't have to play it out. They're in possession. They're in the attacking third, and you can see, I think the Monarchs just checked off a little bit there, and that left Johnson in a bad position. Yep, that's a penalty all day.
So Devin Sandoval steps up to the spot. He's greeted at the penalty mark there by the substitute, Timmy Sobowale, excuse me. Sobowale being pushed away by Chris Weehan. Sandoval doing his best to not let that affect him.
And of course, the coaching staff of the Real Monarchs just went off. But New Mexico doesn't have to play it off. The ref doesn't have to blow the whistle right there unless he feels there's a head injury, and that's something he can stop the game for. And United were able to take advantage of the situation.
And it was Charlie Weehan for Real Monarchs that went down as New Mexico elected to play on. He's still down on the pitch. He is receiving treatment right now from the physio as Sandoval is being forced to wait. As you can see, he now turns around and has a look at the injured Weehan. JJ, and if you're Devin Sandoval, this has got to be a tough moment you know, it's kind of like that free throw in basketball, right? Where you get fouled and then you get a timeout and you have all this time to think about it and to visualize all these different outcomes. But perhaps the light's shining even brighter on you here at the penalty spot in a 1-1 game in the 55th minute as you're fighting for your playoff life.
Yeah, and for Sandoval, it's one of those that with what just happened, him sending it off the crossbar, it's no doubt that he's like, guys, I want to take this penalty kick. I want to redeem myself, try to give United the lead.
This is Devin Sandoval. 4 goals to his name this season. Can he add a 5th? Duznup in goal. Sandoval has it saved. And a big, big save by Jeff Duznup keeps this one level.
And that's reaction. You saw Sandoval pretty much try to keep that one right down the middle. Oh, the toes. Talk about a fingertip catch. How about a toe save?
Incredible stuff there from the keeper, Jeff Duznup. Duznup, just 17 years old, JJ. How about that? Yes. What a save at just 17.
Well, we were talking about the kids, and how about having one in net step up in a moment like that.
Ball played long. Chucked up for Najam momentarily, but Salcedo deals with it. Sandoval quick to restart here with Najam. Here's Moreno. Najam tried to play that one forward for Moreno, but hasn't poked away.
Real Salt Lake has a pretty good history with keepers. Nick Raimondo was a fixture in net for a very long time.
Here's Moreno looking to play this one across. He does. Sandoval diving header and just kept out once again by the 17-year-old Jeff Duznup.
If this was NBA Jam, he's on fire. If a keeper can be on fire, that is Duznup right now. The penalty kick save, and then right there, everything he had to tip that one over the bar.
Well, in early August, Duznup quietly set a record. Just 17 years, 2 months, 18 days, set the USL Championship for the youngest keeper to record a clean sheet. Neidegger off to the races here as Tenari hunts him down. We have a trip in the midfield. And getting booked is going to be Yekisun Suba. So 58th minute yellow card for Suba. That yellow card brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm. When you've been injured in a car crash, call your legal home team, Roadrunner Law Firm.
Only the 4th yellow card. The game started with Amado Moreno getting a yellow card 90 seconds into this one.
So Bank of America corner kick here for New Mexico. Looking to break the deadlock. It's Chris Wehan. Wehan gives the signal. Plays it in. Falls to Guzman. Guzman lines one up. Deflects. Bruce is offside. Looks like we're ready to see a substitute here for Real Monarchs. So entering into the match, it is Daniel Flores as he replaces Conte.
Of course, for New Mexico, Martinez, Suggs, looking for some attacking options off the bench, and it does make sense that if you're playing the back four, that we could see Josh Suggs as a substitute in the second half. They decided to go back three because he's so good as a wing back getting forward in that system.
When it was just a couple of minutes ago that we heard chants of "We want Suggs, we want Suggs" coming from behind the Real Monarchs goal in the curse.
And he's been such a good attacker this season. We know Josh Suggs is just a good soccer player overall, but his work rate box to box, but then the way he's been able to find the back of the net, you know that's got to be an option down the stretch here for New Mexico.
Well, 17 chances created on the season for Suggs. He also leads the team with 62 crosses put into the box. Second place is Chelo Martinez with 34. That just tells you how much distribution you get from the captain. We talked about doozing up the 17-year-old, the product of the RSL Academy. Speaking of the Academy, the USL's elite pre-professional platform, the USL Academy, allows clubs to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent and helping players transition into their USL senior teams. For more information, visit usl-academy.com. So less than a half hour remains here, JJ. We had a very action-packed, about 10-minute stretch there. Since then, things have somewhat simmered down. Sandoval being denied at the penalty spot by the 17-year-old. Could just be a defining moment of the season here for New Mexico.
United knows the game is right there. They have to stay aggressive. They have to stay on the front foot.
Playing that one long is the freshly entered substitute, Daniel Flores. Here's the Colombian, Guzman. Justin Schmidt. Climbing the back of Daniel Bruce there was Orozco to win the header. Bonse now. Finds Malik Johnson on a yellow card. Johnson crosses that one in. Ryden with a rare mistake, able to eventually clear that one away. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Through the Forever Proud project, the USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, staff, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud. Schmidt looking to scoop that one forward for Moreno. Off the bounce, here's Sandoval now. Bruce has loads of space. Daniel Bruce tries to play that one across for Weehan, just gets away from him. Bonse runs Tenari over, does well not to commit the foul. Guzman with a great block, falls to Moreno, ball still loose, and eventually it's Flores clearing it away. And now we are going to see the substitution here. We're going to see Josh Suggs, the captain, making his way onto the pitch, replacing Devin Sandoval. And also making the appearance for New Mexico is number 19, Salih Muhammad. So Salih Muhammad re-signed with New Mexico just a couple of weeks ago, JJ. But this year tonight, he's stepping foot on the pitch at the Lab as a member of New Mexico for the first time in 700 days since the season finale of 2019, being that New Mexico did not play any home games in the 2020 season. And for Salih, that's got to feel good.
Yeah, and it's a move that made sense. You're looking to add some depth in that midfield, a good solid center defensive mid. Muhammad knows the system, knows the guys to be able to make the loan swap for Brian Brown, who just wasn't working out. And excited to see what Salih can bring to the pitch here in the second half.
Nidegger, outside of the boot, through ball. It's poked away by Daniel Bruce. Plays it across the pitch to David Najim. Suggs playing up high. Moreno leading the line for New Mexico. Bruce has that one just get away from him, and Moreno draws the foul. That was Sobowale committing the foul there, and it's a Fiesta Auto Group free kick here for New Mexico.
Yeah, so essentially Moreno has just slid into the spot of Devin Sandoval, and Suggs is playing up high, but that is the trust that Troy Lesane has in Suggs to be that creative player in the attack. Playing that wing back, he's already up the pitch a ton, but now he's a member of the front three.
18 total shots for New Mexico, 7 of those on target, compared to just 7 shots and 1 on target for Real Monarchs. Yet we are tied at 1 goal apiece. This one played for Austin Yearwood. Yearwood wraps his foot around it, sends it in. Just a little too much on that one from the North Carolina native. Tenari does well to keep it in play. Muhammad now crosses in. Josh Suggs! And somehow the 17-year-old keeper, Jeff Dusnup, keeps that one out.
At some point in time when you're on fire, you're supposed to run out. That is not the case. Unbelievable reaction there. Save on the ground. Suggs put that ball where it needed to be.
The 2 substitutes combining on that one as Wehan delivers on this corner kick, and that one goes over everybody. And Dusnup can breathe easy once again.
That's what will kill momentum, is you're creating great chances on a goal, and the keeper is just making greater saves. And look at that right there, Josh Suggs and the right hand of Dusnup. Just an unbelievable performance from the keeper, bouncing back after giving up that goal from Armando Moreno.
Suggs was looking to find the back of the net here for the 4th time this season, denied by the youngster. Josh Suggs, the 32-year-old, almost twice the age of Jeff Dusnup, to put that into perspective. That is the 32-year-old Josh Suggs giving chase to that one. Suggs, also the USL's all-time leader in minutes played. As we were anticipating, there was about 7,000 in attendance here tonight. We have received word officially 7,564 strong, watching the black and yellow take on Real Monarchs. As Josh Suggs is whistled for the foul.
And what's just incredible about Josh Suggs is he doesn't look like a guy that's played the most minutes in league history.
Right.
Every time he's on the pitch, he's going 110 miles per hour. You never see him slow down. He's so effective for the ground that he covers, and he is just a great guy to be wearing the armband, and someone especially in a game that New Mexico could start hanging their heads. They could be frustrated. Like, what are we supposed to do? What else can we do? But to inject some of that energy up top, to see the header that he had on goal, and these 7,500 fans are waiting to explode one more time.
That is Malik Johnson on the ground receiving some treatment from the trainer. Johnson joins the Monarchs after spending the past 2 seasons with Tampa Bay Rowdies, helped the club to an Eastern Conference title in 2020. He appeared in 33 matches for Tampa Bay, totaling 5 goals, 11 assists. Prior to that, played for Toronto FC. Played for Toronto FC 2, where he scored 7 goals and 3 assists in 73 appearances for TFC 2. Got 2 promotions in first-team appearances for Toronto FC. 2016 and 2018 Canadian Championship competitions. Johnson, this night may look to be done as he has his seat over on the bench. So here's Brown. Sam Brown, the 17th overall selection in the 2019 MLS Super Draft back in January of 2019. Nidegger turns, marked by Muhammad. Offside is the call over on the near side. Looks like Charlie Weehan just got ahead of himself a little bit. Excuse me. I don't think that was Weehan. I actually think that was 27 from this vantage point. That's Brett Halsey out of Virginia, the former Cavalier. So Fiesta Auto Group free kick. Sending that one in is Weehan, Justin Schmidt, and the header goes over the bar.
In the area, but that's a tough one to keep down. And catch it off the top of your noggin. But you gotta keep pressing forward. We've seen in the second half some fresh legs in for Monarchs. Gonna have to be doing a lot of defending, but within that, don't want to give up the counter. That's what hurt United on the goal that tied this game. But since then, it's been all New Mexico.
Yearwood giving chase to this one, as is Nidegger. It will be a throw in here for Real Monarchs. 72nd minute here at the lab. Tyler Ortega, JJ Buck. Whether you're listening on ESPN Plus or here in the state of New Mexico on Estrella TV, thanks for hanging out with us. Some Saturday night Mountain Division soccer here in the USL Championship. This one hit forward for Weehan. Weehan's through one-on-one, and Weehan sends it wide. And this game is still tied.
You don't expect to see that from a player of his caliber, Chris Weehan, and just the frustration from Devin Sandoval hitting across like Chris Weehan. What a ball played forward. And just the touch to bring it in. The run opens his foot just way too wide. Now a couple more offensive subs here for New Mexico.
That might just be the best opportunity New Mexico gets here tonight. We see a couple of substitutions here for the black and yellow. Chelo Martinez and Ilya Illich enter the contest. Heading to the bench, we see Andrew Tenari. We'll try to get the other sub. It looks like Guzman and Sandoval may be off.
Illich.
Here's Orozco. Up for Halsey. Here comes Halsey. Lays it off for Brown. Halsey was looking to poke that one forward for Weehan. Has it poked away by Bruce. Here's Chelo Martinez. Lays it off for Muhammad. Smokes one near side to Bruce. Weehan now cuts it back. Suggs. Here's Suggs again. And that's going to be a throw in here for Real Monarchs.
So you see a few minutes, Josh Suggs playing up top. Now out there at the left back position, it's going to be Illich leading the line. Under him, Moreno, Bruce, Weehan, Chelo. So Lassane has all the attackers off the bench, throwing everything he can now. Find that next goal.
Well, and given some recent results here today, JJ, 3 points paramount for New Mexico.
This is a must-win game. It is. The players handled it well. Daniel Bruce talking about you have to take it one game at a time. They know late in the season, 10 games left, playing the team that's at the bottom of the table. If you want to go to the playoffs, you got to come out of this game with 3 points.
Ryden plays it across for Schmidt. Now Weehan. Weehan didn't get enough pace on that one. It's intercepted. Here's Nidegger. Looking to play it over the top for Suba. A heavy first touch allows Alex Tambakis to come out and grab it, but also the offside flag up here on the near side. And Moreno looks to have taken a whack as he goes to ground. And Ryden will play it out as Moreno well away from the play. Now Moreno receiving treatment from head athletic trainer Tyler Harris. As we said, well away from the play. It might have looked to have caught a swing there from one of the Monarchs defenders. Not 100% sure what happened. But not even anywhere near the vicinity of the play.
That's one, even when you're trying to watch, all right, what's upcoming, where's the attack going to come from? No idea what happened to Moreno there, unless the ref is saying it was an accidental collision, but you kind of see Moreno looking over here saying, I don't think that was accidental.
And Moreno talking with our official Matthew Corrigan here tonight. Corrigan, he's managed the game well. There have been a few tense moments, but 4 yellow cards so far. Gotta say, you know, nothing's gotten too out of hand.
It's been a fair game, and that's what you want to see. Right off the bat, he had to give a card to Amado Moreno. You slid into the keeper and took him out 90 seconds into the game. But I think he's done a good job of, all right, making sure that it stayed fair. When the Monarchs needed a yellow, he did it, but not going over the top, making sure that this game can finish with everyone on the pitch.
Moreno also, I think we both agree, lucky to just see yellow. That was a very reckless play, sliding into the plant leg of the 17-year-old keeper, Jeff Duzna. Here's Chelo. Lays it off for Weehan. Suggs now. Back to Schmidt. Ball given away, but eventually taken back by Justin Schmidt. Fans, we invite you to join the USL in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month through October 15th. Visit uslsoccer.com/Hispanic-heritage for exclusive content and stories that celebrate members of the Hispanic community that have shaped the USL. Daniel Bruce, acres of space for the Englishman. Closed down by 3 Monarchs. Scott Bees making the run. Bees heads home. New Mexico take the lead in the 80th minute. It is Chris Wehan notching his 7th goal of the campaign, and the black and yellow are on top 2-1.
The patience from Daniel Bruce to continue that run. He could have played it off earlier. Armando Moreno was calling for the ball top of the 18. Bruce wanted to take a couple more touches, turn that corner, get it a little bit deeper there on the end line, and Wehan making that run all the way to the edge of the box. And it was just a matter of time. Finally, one sneaks past the keeper here in the second half.
So the 7th goal on the season for Chris Wehan. That is the 2nd assist of the year for the Englishman, Daniel Bruce. As we have another look at this TLC replay, that goal was scored by Chris Wehan. Goals are brought to you by T-Mobile, and T-Mobile has got Bees covered.
And Bruce hit him with a little bit of that hezzy right there. Kind of got both defenders flat-footed for just a second, leaving enough time for Beezer to make that extra step. And there he's like, whether it comes off my chest, my head, I am right here. This has to go in the net.
And now we'll see a defensive change for Troy Lesesne as Mike Azira enters in, replacing Armando Moreno. All substitutions tonight brought to you by REDW CPAs and Advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. All right, JJ. New Mexico back in the same spot they were in about half an hour ago. After Moreno scored in the 48th minute, it took Charlie Wehan just moments to equalize. And we all know the easiest time to concede a goal is just after you've scored.
Take a deep breath. This is when it's okay to play in possession with the lead. But you don't want to get too passive, because whatever sport we're talking about, when you're not playing to win the game, you're playing just to hold on, bad things can happen.
Orozco now with the free kick. Ryden wins the header, and it's cleared out there by Muhammad.
And part of that is just, it's not being completely passive, but being okay with absorbing some pressure defensively, still being strong. But then, moments like this, you can take your time, but don't be afraid to find that outlet or find that switch if it's there.
Real Monarchs looking for their first win in 42 days. Haven't tasted victory since August 7th. And they were out at Torero Stadium in San Diego. They beat Loyal 1-0. That was by way of a first-minute goal by Douglas Martinez. Here's Bruce. Wins the throw-in, does Daniel Bruce. That right there, a masterclass by the Englishman. I want to apologize. When I was listing out the supporters groups for New Mexico United, I forgot La Maldición. That is the Spanish branch of the curse. We see their giant flag waving in the supporters section as the supporters culture has really just taken off here in Albuquerque, JJ. And from what you and I have seen throughout the years in terms of soccer here in Albuquerque, we know about the Albuquerque Soul, which would have been equivalent to USL League 2 nowadays. They were in the PDL just a few years ago. But back then we would see, a couple hundred fans out at St. Pius High School, and the supporters section consisted of about 6 people behind the end zone. They played at a local high school football field with a couple of drums, and this is what it's turned into.
A couple of drums, portable lights with generators. It was awesome, though. It shows you just love of the game. It was kind of set the foundation of, okay, this can be more than just collegiate soccer in Albuquerque with the University of New Mexico. I had some great times watching the Albuquerque Soul. A lot of fun, a lot of players that you see now in the USL Championship actually played for the Albuquerque Soul, and now seeing this with United is awesome.
Chelo Martinez. Chelo Martinez puts one on goal. Woodwork, and Bees sends it wide. Was looking for the brace. Chris Wehan unable to get the insurance goal, and New Mexico still holding a 1-goal lead.
I'm speechless. I don't know how it happened again for Chris Wehan.
Bees should have a hat trick.
It was a great shot by Martinez, trying to come near post and just go on left foot and just left his foot wide open.
When you count that chance along with the one where he was through on goal, just one-on-one with Duznup a few minutes ago. Chris Wehan, he did find the back of the net once, but as I said, should probably be sitting on 3 goals here this evening.
And this is one right now. The 3 points are in hand if you see this game out. That was the most important thing. Come out of here with a win. But some missed opportunities like that, you want to start adding to the goal differential if you can, because as tight as this race could be, if New Mexico picks up some more wins down the stretch, that is one of the tiebreakers.
Here's Wehan, plays it back to Bonse. Cross pitch pass, finds Orozco. He'll play it in, back post. Flores, and Tambakis comes out to gather. Offside flag was up anyway.
Yeah, Tambakis hasn't had to do anything since the goal from Charlie Wehan, so he will absolutely take that. But it's good to see that when he had to make a decision, it was a strong decision.
It's Justin Schmidt on the pitch for New Mexico. The Albuquerque native. He will require some treatment here. And Tyler Harris, head athletic trainer for the black and yellow. And Schmidt to have been moving just a little bit slow. And that is Harris. Harris, along with all the other members of the coaching staff here. Their 3rd season with this squad, for the exception of Peter Davis. When you look at Troy Lassane, Brandon Morris, Zach Prince, Tyler Harris, there's a strong core when it comes to this New Mexico United Tech staff.
Yeah, and it's also just good to see the continuity. Young franchise still. And I think that's what a lot of people can forget, just with the excitement, how well fans have taken to this team, is, you know, they're still laying the foundations for what they want overall and moving forward. But to have the continuity, to be able to keep majority of the coaches around, that is great. And then continue to add people like Heather Dyke to the staff, which we talked about, just continuing to grow, build on and off the field. And then that will lead you to having playoff expectations even just so early in the history of your franchise.
So that is Bonse coming off. Entering here for Real Monarchs, we see Max Mata and Julio Benitez. Mata out of Auckland, New Zealand. Previously played with the Grasshoppers in Switzerland. Julio Benitez out of Mesa, Arizona, comes out of the RSL Academy. Schmidt just having some words with Tyler Harris. And Harris gives the thumbs up to the United bench, so it looks like Justin Schmidt will not be subbing off.
And Schmidt is, I don't know, you could say all these guys are fan favorites, but, you know, being a member of the community, it's been a little bit of a bad luck. He had the foot injury, which cost him last season. It's kind of just been the nagging things that prevented him from really getting time. But, you know, we've seen over the last few games, big opportunity for Schmidt to really assert himself in this lineup.
You're talking about a guy, JJ, that made 29 starts, 29 appearances in 2019. So he's a real stalwart at the back line for this club here in their first year. Yeah, as you said, just having a hard time staying on the pitch. And two, you know, with Sam Hamilton, he was playing so well to start the season. Obviously, with the fibular fracture, he's out for the remainder of the season. But then Tete, he steps in. That's another guy that made plenty of appearances, plenty of big plays. He was the United Rookie of the Year in 2019, so endless competition in that back line. This ball is played for Ilya Illich. Back heel for Daniel Bruce. And Bruce will go to waste a little bit of time. Illich, here's the Serbian.
Yeah, and with Justin Schmidt stepping up, it's experience, it's his ability, to be a leader on and off the field, regardless of if he's playing. And it's a bit of a challenge. Sam Hamilton, as you said, was playing so well. And when you play a back three, you want your defenders to have a little bit of athleticism. That's the one thing Justin Schmidt sometimes gets caught off guard with, that foot speed. But putting in a good shift tonight, not only defensively, but getting forward in a game that now, the last few minutes here, have to lock in defensively for United.
So we're hearing that there are 7 minutes of New Mexico Piñon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee is a matter of a piñon. Here's Flores. Martinez marking. Salcedo now. Sobowale plays it across for Orozco. Ryden comes in to head that away. Wehan scoops it forward. Going to ground. The foul called. It's Salim Muhammad. One of the 7 minutes gone by. Nervy moments here at the lab in front of 7,500.
And we did have a lot of injury stoppages here in the second half. And now it's that moment. You're going to absorb some pressure a little bit if you're United here in the final minutes.
For Monarchs, their headman Suba is stretching the calf. Every chance he gets, so you can see the effect of 90-plus minutes here in the altitude. Suba moving very gingerly as that ball comes to him. You can see he doesn't even make the attempt to jump for it.
And this is where you look at the cross-country travel, playing Hartford on Wednesday, getting late 90-plus minutes now, because most of these players, if they've been training in Salt Lake City, altitude shouldn't be a problem. It's the travel, the midweek games, which are always a challenge when you get late on a weekend contest.
Tambakis has the Fiesta Auto Group free kick here for New Mexico. Ball falls to Bruce. Plays it across for Cello on the far side. Martinez, the RGV native, finds Salih Muhammad. From the Bay Area, Salih Muhammad. Muhammad goes to ground perhaps a little too easily for the officials' liking. Here comes Nidegger. Bruce coming up to pester him some. Nidegger is infuriated. Gets up yelling at the official.
That was a great job by Daniel Bruce. Is getting on his horse and making sure that counter could not find an in.
Duzna plays this one long. Orozco heads it over. Next with Halsey there. Now look to be on for New Mexico. Black and yellow in no hurry to take this throw in. As Bruce had the ball, he dropped it, walked away. Suggs was walking up, and it was like, oh no, actually, you know what, Daniel, you go ahead and take that.
Everything you can get away with late in the game, you do to try to waste time.
Ball thrown into Illich. He's got 4 white shirts ahead of him. Cello sizes one up and lets it go into the supporter section. Duznup is keen to restart quickly here.
I'm going to call it goal kick keep away. You're United, give up the goal kicks and send it right back.
Into the 96th minute we go. 7 stoppage time minutes allotted here by our official Matthew Corrigan. Halsey fighting off Bruce. Bruce looks to have pulled something on that last tackle attempt. Moving very gingerly is the Englishman. As this ball is played for Martinez. Loads of space for Chelo Martinez as Wehan and Illich making the runs, and Martinez is dispossessed.
And try to get fancy, go through the legs.
And Muhammad will pick up the yellow card. That was the other kind of football tackle that we just saw there by the Bay Area native Salih Muhammad.
I like to call those professional fouls. You know, I just got to give this one up. Take the card.
And it wasted a little bit more time. Now into the 7th minute. Duznup not committing up ahead just yet. He's in the center circle as Wehan plays this one in. Goes over the head of Suba. Still bouncing. Here's Bruce. Looks to be okay. And that ball just chipped forward and out. That was Austin Yearwood getting rid of that one. Suggs will do the same. New Mexico doing everything they can to keep this ball away from their penalty area. This one goes in, headed away by Schmidt. And this could be the final attempt here for Real Monarchs. Nidegger goes to ground. And that ball just sent forward by Chris Wehan. That is the full-time whistle at the Lab. New Mexico victorious. As 17-year-old keeper Jeff Duznup played his heart out tonight. It just wasn't enough as the black and yellow victorious over Mountain Division opponents. Real Monarchs 2-1 here, JJ.
A fantastic finish. What a second half to see Duznup on the ground. He did everything possible to keep the Monarchs in this game, but just too much United on the front foot, creating chances. You create that many chances, you're going to find the back of the net, and they did twice.
Tonight's man of the match is Amando Moreno, notching his 4th goal of this season. Man of the match presented by Pepsi. You can see with this 49th minute banger, that is the El Salvadorian national Amando Moreno picking up man of the match honors. Coming up next, we've got the play of the match. The play of the match tonight is brought to you by Michelob Ultra. And it was this Chris Wehan goal as Daniel Bruce, as you said, JJ, hit him with a hezzy, and then Bees bangs it home.
Yeah, it allowed Chris Wehan to make that deeper run into the box. Good ball by Bruce. And you see, it was almost like a sigh of relief from Chris because he didn't hit that one well. He hit it pretty much straight down, but since you're almost standing on the goal line, that's an easy one from the finish.
Now coming up next, we have the save of the match, and this one goes to Jeff Duznup. Had 7 saves this match, the 17-year-old, as we said, played his heart out, and this one stoning Devin Sandoval cold from the penalty spot. Your save of the match brought to you tonight by Positive Energy Solar generate positive energy. We're going to step aside. We'll be back here in just a moment to wrap things up.
It's getting late, but your crew is just getting started. Head to B-Dubs for 50% off this loaded lineup of tots, chips, and ultimate nachos. But wait, house beer for just $3? There's officially something for everyone, even that friend whose curfew is 10 p.m. Late night at Buffalo Wild Wings.
This one's for all the parents whose idea of a big night out is a 15-minute drive to a takeout window.
We've watched the seasons change. My great-grandfather helped build this railroad. There's something special about fall in New Mexico. The aspens, cottonwoods, and oaks. There's nothing else like it, really.
Full-time scenes here at the lab. Tyler Ortega, JJ Buck is New Mexico United victorious over Real Monarchs tonight. 2-1 in front of 7,564 people here at the lab. So we see JJ, the hosts, outshot the visitors 26 shots to 7, 9 on target compared to just 1. They outpossessed them 60 to 39.8. Total domination on the stat sheet from New Mexico. However, just squeaking by with 1 goal.
Yeah, and it's a credit to what the Monarchs were able to do defensively. It all starts in goal. Dusnup was fantastic because 20 of those shots came from inside the box. United was on the doorstep all night long.
Let's go ahead and take a look now at the full-time highlights. So we'll start off here. There was a few misses right off the bat, JJ, but then the goals started coming. We'll start here with Charlie Weehan, the younger brother of Chris, sending that one just long. And then this ball somehow making its way across the face of goal. David Najam doesn't connect very cleanly on that one. And here for Real Monarchs, sending that one over was Malik Johnson. But then this is when the goal started to happen. Amando Moreno cuts it back upper 90 for his 4th goal of the season.
Yeah, you just need someone to make a play, take over. Moreno has talent, and he did just that.
So you can see Moreno, he had Weehan, but decided, you know what, I'll do it myself. Scores his 1st goal in 35 days. That was the first time he scored since Meow Wolf Night. It was also on that same exact goal, right in front of the curse there against El Paso Locomotive for that one. And Moreno off the mark. I'm sure he's excited to be back scoring in black and yellow after taking a brief hiatus to go join the El Salvadorian national team for some World Cup qualifying. But then, just about a minute later, it was Charlie Weehan with the equalizer.
Yeah, and that was a moment of, oh no, here we go again. Just 2 minutes after scoring the go-ahead goal. New Mexico's dropped 20 points from winning positions this season, a game in which they were in total control and give up the equalizer. And then it was, how will they respond?
And then this. The other Weehan. Now, we're waiting on confirmation for this, but JJ, we may have seen the first time that brothers scored in the same match on opposite teams. We'll wait to see if that's the case, but it was Weehan, Chris Weehan, heading home to seal the deal for New Mexico in the 80th minute off the 2nd assist of the season for the Englishman Daniel Bruce.
And that was a big one for Chris Weehan. You know, the frustration he had earlier, missing a one-on-one opportunity with the keeper, sending it wide. A fantastic finish, a gut punch that they took when the game was tied. But 3 points is all that matters for United.
So for New Mexico, big matchups coming up down the stretch as they'll be back here at the lab in just about 10 days' time. As more games are coming, New Mexico making the playoff push. That's going to do it for us here tonight for Windfire Productions.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.